Chapter 4 Animal Kingdom. When you look around, you will observe different animals with different structures and forms. As over a million species of animals have been discovered till now, the need for classifications become all the more important. The classification also helps in assigning a systematic position to newly described species. 4.1 Basis of classification. In spite of differences in structure and form of different animals, there are fundamental features common to various individuals in relation to arrangement of cells, body symmetry, nature of coelom, patterns of digestive, circulatory, or reproductive systems. These features are used as the basis of animal classification, and some of them are discussed here. 4.1.1 Levels of organization. The all members of Animalia are multicellular. All of them do not exhibit the same pattern of organization of cells. For example, in sponges, the cells are arranged as loose cell aggregates. That is, they exhibit cellular level of organization. Some division of label activities occur among the cells. In coelentrates, the arrangement of cell is more complex. Here, the cells performing the same function are arranged into tissues. Hence, is called tissue level of organization. A still higher level of organization, that is organ level, is exhibited by members of Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla where tissues are grouped together to form organs, each specialized for a particular function. In animals like annelids, arthropods, mollusks, echinoderms, and chordates, organs have associated to form functional systems, each system concerned with a specific psychological function. This pattern is called organ system level of organization. Organ system in different group of animals exhibit various patterns of complexities. For example, the digestive system in platyhelminths has only a single opening to the outside of the body that serves as both mouth and anus and is hence called incomplete. A complete digestive system has two openings, mouth, and anus. Similarly, the circulatory system may be of two types: open type, in which the blood is pumped out of the heart and the cells in the tissues are directly bathed in, and second, closed type, in which the blood is circulated through a series of vessels of varying diameters, arteries, veins, and capillaries. 4.1.2 Symmetry. Animals can be characterized on the basis of the symmetry. Sponges are mostly asymmetrical, that is, any plane that passes through the center does not divide them into equal halves. When any plane passing through the center of axis, the body divides the organism into the two identical halves. It is called radial symmetry. Coelentrates, ctenophores, and echinoderms have this kind of body plan. Figure 4.1.a. Animals like annelids, arthropod, etc., where the body can be divided into identical left and right halves in only one plane, exhibit bilateral symmetry. Figure 4.1.b. 4.1.3 Diploblastic and triploblastic organization. Animals in which the cells are arranged in two embryonic layers, an external ectoderm and internal ectoderm, are called diploblastic animal. Example, coelentrates. An undifferentiated layer, mesoglia, is present in between the ectoderm and the endoderm. 4.2.2b. Those animals in which the developing embryo has a third germinal layer, that is mesoderm, in between the ectoderm and endoderm are called triploblastic animals. Platyhelminths to chordates, figure 4.2b. 4.1.4 Coelom. Presence or absence of cavity between the body wall and the gut wall is very important in classification. The cavity, which is lined by mesoderm, is called coelom. Animals possessing coeloms are called coelomates. Example, annelids, mollusks, arthropods, echinoderms, hemichordates, and chordates. Figure 4.3a. In some animals, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present as scattered pouches in between the ectoderm and endoderm. Such a body cavity is called pseudocoelom, and the animals possessing them are called pseudocoelomates. Example, Esculmenthes. Figure 4.3b. The animals in which the body cavity is absent are called acoelomates. Example, platyhelminths. Figure 4.3c. 4.1.5 Segmentation. In some animals, the body is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial repetition of at least some organs. For example, in earthworms, the body shows this pattern called metameric segmentation, and the phenomenon is known as metamerism. 4.1.6 Notochord. Notochord is a mesodermally derived rod like structure formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. Animals with notochord are called chordates, and those animals which do not form this structure are called non chordates. Example Porifera to echinoderms. 4.2 Classification of animals. The broad classification of Animalia, based on common fundamental features as mentioned in the preceding sections, is given in Figure 4.4. The important characteristic features of the different phyla are described. 4.2.1 Phylum Porifera. Members of these phylums are commonly known as sponges. They are generally marine and mostly asymmetrical animals. Figure 4.5. These are primitive multicellular animals and have cellular level of organization. Sponges have a water transport of canal system. Water enters through minute pores ostia in the body wall into a cell cavity spongocoel, from where it goes out through the osculum. This pathway of water exchange and removal of waste. Canocytes or collar cells like the spongocoel and the canals. Digestion is intracellular. The body is supported by a skeleton made of spicules or spongin fibers. Sexes are not separate, hermaphrodite. That is, eggs and sperms are produced by the same individual. Sponges reproduce asexually by fragmentation and sexually by formation of gametes. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect, having a larval stage which is morphologically distinct from the adult. Example Cycon, Sphaia, Spongula freshwater sponge, and Euspongia bath sponge. 4.2.2 Phylum Coelenterata, Nidaria. They are aquatic, mostly marine, sessile, or free swimming, radially symmetrical animals. Figure 4.6. The name Nidaria is derived from the nidoblast or nidocyst, which contain the stinging capsules or nematocytes present on the tentacles and the body. Nidoplasts are used for anchorage defense and for the capture of prey. Figure 4.7. Nidarians exhibit tissue level of organization and are diploblastic. They have a central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening mouth on hypostome. Digestion is extracellular and intracellular. Some of the nidarians, example corals, have a skeletal composed of calcium carbonate. Nidarians exhibit two basic body forms called polyp and medusa. The former is sessile and the cylindrical form like Hydra, Adamsia, example, whereas the latter is umbrella shaped and free swimming like Aurelia or jellyfish. Those nidarians which exist in both of forms exhibit alternation of generation, metagenesis, that is, polyps produce medusa asexually and medusa forms the polyp sexually. Example, Obelia. Examples, Scylla, Portuguese man of war, Adamsia, sea anemone, Pinatula, sea pen, Gorgna, sea fan, and Medrina, green coral. 4.2.3 Phylum Ctenophora. Ctenophores, commonly known as sea walnuts or comb jellies, are exclusively marine, radially symmetrical, diploblastic organisms with a tissue level of organization. The body bears eight external rows of ciliated comb plates, which help in the locomotion. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. Bioluminescence, the property of a living organism to emit light, is well marked in ctenophores. Sexes are not separate. Reproduction takes place only by sexual means. Fertilization is external with indirect development. Examples Pleobrachia and Tinoplana. 4.2.4 Phylum Platyhelminths. They have dorsoventrally flattened body, hence are called flatworms. These are mostly endoparasites found in animals, including human beings. Flatworms are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and acoelomorphs animal with organ level of organization. Hooks and suckers are present in the parasitic form. Some of them absorb nutrients from the host directly through their body surface. Specialized cells called the flame cells help in osmoregulation and excretion. Sexes are not separate, fertilization is internal, and development is through many larval stages. Some members, like Planaria, possesses high generation capacity. Example, Taenia, tapeworm, Fasciola, liverfluke. 4.2.5 Phylum Esculmenthus. The body of the Esculmenthus is circular in cross section, hence the name roundworms. Figure 4.10. They may be free living, aquatic, and terrestrial, or parasitic in plants and animals. Roundworms have organ system level of body organization. They are bilateral, symmetrical, triploblastic, and pseudocoelomate animals. Alimentary canal is complete with a well developed muscular pharynx. An excretory tube removes body waste from the body cavity through the excretory pore. Sexes are separate, dioecious, that is, males and females are distinct. Often females are longer than males. Fertilization is internal and development may be direct. The young ones resemble the adult or indirect. Example is Caris roundworm, Wucheria floral worm, and Encyclostomata hookworm. 4.2.6 Phylum Annelida. They may be aquatic, marine and freshwater or terrestrial, free living and sometimes parasitic. They exhibit organ system level of body organization and bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic, metamerically segmented and coelomate animals. The body surface is distinctly marked out into segments or metamers and hence the phylum name Annelida. They possess longitudinal and circular muscles which help in locomotion. Aquatic annelids like Nereis possesses lateral appendages, parapodia, which help in swimming. A closed circulatory system is present. Nephridia is singular nephridium, help in osmoregulation and excretion. Neural system consists of paired ganglia, singular ganglion connected by lateral nerves to a double ventral nerve cord. Nereis and aquatic form is dioecious, but earthworms and leeches are monoecious. Reproduction is sexual. Example Nereis, Peritema, earthworm, and Hirudinaria, blood-sucking leech. Phylum Arthropoda. This is the largest phylum of Animalia, which includes insect. Over two-thirds of all named species of the earth are arthropods. They have organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, segmented, and coelomate animals. The body of arthropods is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. The body consists of head, thorax, and abdomen. They have jointed appendages, arthros, joint, poda, appendages. Respiratory organs are gills, book lungs, etc. Uh, Tracheal system. Circulatory system is of open type. Sensory organs like antenna, eyes, compound and simple. Statocyst or balancing organs are present. Excretion takes place through Malpighian tubes. They are mostly dioecious. Fertilization is usually internal. They are mostly oviparous. Development may be direct or indirect. Example economically important insects: Apis honeybee, Bombyx silkworm, Lycifer lac insect, Vectors anopheles, Culex and Aedes mosquito, Gregarious pest Locusta locust, living fossil Lemurus king crab. 4.2.8 Phylum Mollusca. This is the second largest animal phylum, Mollusca terrestrial or aquatic, having an organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and coelomate animals. Body is covered by a calcareous shell and is unsegmented with a distinct head, muscular foot, and visceral hump. A soft and the spongy layer of skin forms a mantle over the visceral hump. The space between the hump and the mantle is called the mantle cavity, in which the feather-like gills are present. They have a respiratory and excretory functions. The anterior head region has sensory tentacles. The mouth contains a file-like rasping organ feeding called radula. They are usually dioecious and oviparous with indirect development. Examples: Spila, apple snail, Pinctata pearl oyster, Sepia cuttlefish, Loligo squid, Octopus devilfish, Apisla sea hare, Dentellum duckshell, and Cetopleura chiton. 4.2.9 Phylum Echinodermata. These animals have an endoskeleton of cartilaginous ossicles and hence the name Echinodermata. Spiny bodied, figure 4.414. All are marines with organ system level of organization. The adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical but larvae are bilateral symmetrical. They are triploblastic and coelomate animals. The digestive system is complete with the mouth on the lower ventral side and anus on the upper dorsal side. The most distinctive feature of echinoderms is the presence of water vascular system which helps in locomotion, capture and transport of food and respiration. An excretory system is absent, sexes are separate, reproduction is sexual, fertilization is usually external, development is indirect with free swimming larvae. Examples: Asterisks, starfish, Echinus, sea urchin, Antedon, sea lily, Cucumaria sea cucumber, Aniphoria, and Ophiura brittle star. 4.2.10 Phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordata was earlier considered a subphylum under phylum Chordata, but now it is placed as a separate phylum under non-Chordata. Hemichordates have a rudimentary structure in the collar region called stomachoid, a structure similar to notochord. This phylum consists of a small group of worm-like marine animals with organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and coelomate animals. The body is cylindrical and is composed of anterior proboscis, a collar, and a long trunk. Circulatory system is of open type. Respiration takes place through gills. Excretory system organ is proboscis gland. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external, development is indirect. Example, Belenglossus and Sacoglossus. 4.2.11 Phylum Chordata. Animals belonging to phylum Chordata are fundamentally characterized by the presence of a notochord or a dorsal hollow nerve cord and paired pharyngeal gill slits. They are bilaterally symmetrical triploblastic coelomate with the organ system level of organization. They possess a post and a tail and a closed circulatory system. Table 4.1 presents a comparison of salient features of chordates and non-chordates. Phylum Chordata is divided into three subphyla: Urochordata or Tunicata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata. Subphylum Urochordata and Cephalochordata are often referred to as protochordates and are exclusively marine. In Urochordata, notochord is present only in larval tail, while in Cephalochordata it extends from the head to the tail region and is persistent throughout their life. Example, Urochordata, Acidia, Salfa, Dodilum, Cephalochordata, Branchistoma, Amphibious or lancelet. The members of subphylum Vertebrata possesses notochord during the embryonic period. The notochord is replaced by a cartilaginous or bony ventral vertebral column in the adult. Thus, all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Beside the basic chordate characters, vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart with 2, 3, or 4 chambers, kidneys for excretion and osmoregulation, and paired appendages, which may be fins or limbs. 4.2.11.1 Class Cyclostomata. All living members of the class Cyclostomata are ectoparasites on some fishes. They have an elongated body bearing 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits for respiration. Cyclostomes have a sucking and a circular mouth without jaws. Their body is devoid of scales and paired fins. Cranium and vertebral columns are cartilaginous. Circulation is of closed type. Cyclostomes are marine but migrate for spawning to fresh water. After spawning within a few days, they die. The larvae after metamorphosis return to ocean. Example, petromyzon that is lamprey and myxine that is hagfish. Class Chondrichthyes. They are marine animals with streamlined bodies and have cartilaginous endoskeleton. Figure 4.19. Mouth is located ventrally. Notochord is persistent throughout life. Gill slits are separate and without operculum. The skin is tough, containing minute placoid scales. Teeth are modified placoid scales, which are backwardly directed. The jaws are very powerful. These animals are predaceous. Due to the absence of air bladder, they have to swim constantly to avoid sinking. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. Some of them have electric organs, example torpedo, and possesses poison sting, that is trigon. They are cold-blooded poikilothermous animals, that is they lack capacity to regulate their body temperature. Sexes are separate. In male pelvic fin bears claspers, they have internal fertilization and many of them are viviparous. Example, scoliodon, dogfish, pristis sawfish, cacadron, great white shark, trigon, stingray. Class Osteichthyes. It includes both marine and freshwater fishes with bony endoskeleton. The body is streamlined, mouth is mostly terminal. They have 4 pairs of gills which are covered by operculum on each side. Skin is covered with cycloid tenoid scales. A bladder is present which regulates buoyancy. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. They are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is usually external. They are mostly oviparous and development is direct. Example, marine exocoitus, flying fish, hippocampus, seahorse, freshwater labo, rohu, catla, clarius, aquarium beta, that is fighting fish, petrophyllum, angelfish. Class Amphibia. As the name indicates, amphibians can live in aquatic as well as terrestrial habitats. Most of them have 2 pairs of limbs, bodies divisible into head and trunk. Tail may be present in some. The amphibian's skin is mostly without scales. The eyes have eyelids. The amphibian skin is moist. The eyes have eyelids. A tympanum represents the ear. Alimentary canal, urinary, and reproductive tracts open into a common chamber called cloaca, which opens to exterior. Respiration is by gills, lungs, and through skin. The heart is 3-chambered, 2 auricles, and 1 ventricle. These are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. They are oviparous and development is indirect. Example, buffo, that is toad, rana, frog, hyla, tree frog, salamandra, salamander, ichthyophis, limbless amphibia. Class Reptilia. The class name refers to their creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. They are mostly terrestrial animals and their bodies covered by dry and cornified skin. Epidermal scale or scutes. They do not have external air openings. Tympan and represent air. Limbs, when present, are two pairs. Heart is usually three-chambered, but four-chambered in crocodiles. Reptiles are poikilotherms. Snakes and lizards shed their skins as skin cast. Sexes are separate, fertilization is internal, they are oviparous and development is direct. Examples: Kilone turtle, testudo, that is tortoise, chameleon tree lizard, quartus, that is garden lizard, crocodilus, that is crocodile, alligator, hemidactus, that is wall lizard, poisonous snakes, naja cobra, bangarus, crate, vipra, viper. Class Aves. The characteristic features of aves are the presence of feathers, and most of them can fly except flightless birds. Example: ostrich. They possess beak. The forelimbs are modified into wings. The hind limbs are generally have scales and are modified for walking, swimming, or clasping the tree branches. Skin is dry without glands except the oil gland at the base of the tail. Endoskeleton is fully ossified body and the long bones are hollow with air cavities pneumatic. The digestive system of the birds have an additional chambers, the crop and the gizzard. Heart is completely four-chambered. They are warm-blooded homunculotherms animals, that is, they are able to maintain a constant body temperature. Respiration is by lungs. Sacs connected to lungs supplement respiration. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Examples: Corvus crow, Columba pigeon, Piscatula, that is parrot, Scruthio, that is ostrich, Pavo, that is peacock, a Panther, that is penguin, Nephron, that is vulture. Class Mammalia. They are found in a variety of habitats: polar ice caps, desert, mountains, forests, grasslands, and dark caves. Some of them have adapted to fly or live in water. The most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of the milk producing glands, mammary glands, by which the young ones are nourished. They have two pairs of limbs adapted by walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming, or flying. The skin of mammals is unique in possessing hair. External ears or pinnae are present. Different types of teeth are present in the jaw. Heart is four-chambered. They are homeothermous. Respiration is by lungs. Sexes are separate and fertilization is internal. They are viviparous with few exceptions and development is direct. Examples: oviparous ornithicus, that is Platypus; viviparous Marcopus kangaroo; Pteropus, that is flying fox; Camelus camel; Macaca monkey; Rattus rat; Canis dog; Felis cat; Elephas elephant; Equus horse; Delphinus, that is common dolphin; Bellinifera, that is blue whale; Panthera tigris, that is tigris; Panthera leo, lion. The salient distinguishing feature of all phyla under animal kingdom is comprehensively given in figure 4.2.